This MSNBC guest that I'm about to show you just had a mental breakdown on Donald Trump in winning this election as well as immigration. Take a look at the lunacy.
There's ugliness out there that's not reducible to him, and this is what makes me nervous. And I'm a Kamala Harris fan, right? And that is Hillary Clinton in 2016 thought she had the base locked. And she thought that what she needed to do was to go for that middle. And these folk would turn out. They didn't. And then in the middle, those folks, undecided folk, Republicans, they went home. Joe Biden was elected because historic numbers of folks showed up, right? They made a decision. And so the second largest turnout ever, Donald Trump got in 2020. So it took historic numbers to beat him, right? And so now we get enamored with the Dick Cheneys and the Liz Cheneys and the Flakes and the da-da-da-da, right? And this man is running around here busting his chops, scaring the hell out of communities, right? And we're trying to figure out how to keep that middle, locked in on her when she needs to bust him in his mouth. I'm saying it like that because he's dangerous. He's dangerous to particular people. And the history of the country is such that we can't play fast and loose with it. Does that make sense?
Isn't it incumbent on all of us to protect the people who are in danger by him?
But you never have. That's the rub. You never have. And so part of what we have to do in the midst of this is to engage in a deep-seated political calculus, right? Even though we know that she has to get the middle, we got to come out and try to figure out how to turn out in large historic numbers, because we got to keep this troglodyte out of office. Because if he comes in, our babies are going to be in danger. Because remember, those young children are going to grow up with the memory of having to not go to school for the threat of bombs. And somebody told them that their moms and dads eat cats, they eat cats and dogs. I'll get myself together, Claire.
Okay, take a minute. Deep breaths.
Through the temper tantrum that was there was actually a kernel and an element of truth to what he was saying, and this is about turnout, something I've talked a lot about on the show. He's talking about turnout in here. Now, here's the problem for them and what he's talking about. What he is prescribing for the turnout game for Democrats is that they should double down on their base instead of spending the time to reach out to moderates. And I really hope they do that as someone who's supporting Trump, because he actually has it all twisted. This guy that's talking to the MSNBC host, he's got it twisted around what happened in 2016 and what they need to do in 2024 as a result of that. It was not that Hillary Clinton focused too much on the moderates. In fact, there were some states that some key swing states that Hillary Clinton literally never even campaigned in. Like maybe went once or twice, while Donald Trump had like 15, 20 rallies there. So that was not the problem. The problem was that she relied on her base too much. She wanted to replicate what Obama had done, and it turns out that Hillary Clinton and Kamala Harris are not Barack Obama. As someone on the right, I can say Obama, yeah, he's a trickster, he's a good speaker. Clinton and Harris, yeah, they're not good. They got a lot of baggage, they're not good speakers. The other problem with this guy's assessment is that he thinks that turnout was historic in 2020. Technically, yes, it was historic, but that was all because they changed the rules for COVID. And so if people, I really hope people on the left who are advising Kamala Harris are telling this, because if they're looking at 2020 and they're thinking that we're going to have the same kind of historic turnout in 2024, they're dead wrong. They're wrong for a few reasons, and I've talked about it in past reasons, but again, the biggest is just that the rules don't apply this time because Democrats put specific rules in place during 2020 that allowed a lot more people to vote than usually would have voted. I'm mostly talking about mail-in ballots, which are usually illegal in some states and were made legal during COVID. So this brings me to one of the biggest beliefs that I hold, and it's a huge problem for Democrats, especially in what this guy is talking about. The reason why Democrats and leftists are destined to fail, I personally think in this election, but just in the long run, is because they're detached from reality. They try to shape reality, and you can see this all the time from when they're talking about how there's no definition for gender anymore or how morality is just relativistic for them, and that's simply not true. And so they're trying to shape this reality, but at the end of the day, reality is reality. There is objective truth. And when they're cutting against it, and I'm not saying Republicans are perfect, that they're just true in all things, but they are not as detached from reality as Democrats are, it has electoral consequences. Big electoral consequences for Democrats, because it turns out if you're detached from reality and what's actually happening in America, you make the wrong decisions. Again, for instance, if you think that Kamala Harris is somehow Barack Obama, you're detached from reality. And if you treat those races as the same, you're going to lose, because Kamala Harris has to appeal to the moderates if she wants to win. Again, very happy if she just doubles down on her base, because Donald Trump will win if that happens. I think this guy is the perfect example, though, of how Democrat elites think, and they may very well lose because of it. So you know the Daily Wire, but did you know, guys, that they have new children's content? Don't pay woke companies like Disney anymore to indoctrinate your kids. You've seen the clips online. Some of the stuff that are in these new TV shows are crazy. And it's not just Disney, it's a lot of companies, by the way. So use my link in the description below for 47% off at the Daily Wire content. That includes the Bent Key children's content, so we can get back those good old-fashioned kids shows, guys. The kinds that almost the parents wanted to watch. I know Bluey's a good example. Bluey actually is out there. I'll give him credit for that. You know the ones I'm talking about, the ones without gender fluidity, for example. Again, 47% off in the special link in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Please go down below, comment, like, and subscribe, and watch another video.